Aloha! Welcome to Kick TV Hawaii. I'm Adria Campbell.
And I'm Lawrence Smalls. And thanks for joining us on Hawaii's only TV show about the game of soccer being played here in Hawaii.
Today we visit soccer mom Naomi Salazar and her daughter Audrey. Mom tells us why she loves the role of being a soccer mom and the reason she continues to do so. Layla Y sits down with Phil Neto and talks about his time in Hawaii and how the face of soccer has changed. And he talks about the growth of the Bulls organization in Hawaii.
Brian Sheen continues to answer the viewers' questions. We share soccer tips from coaches and players that may help you improve your game. And we get our weekly visit from the guru of soccer, Uncle Jack Sullivan, as he shares a little of the history of soccer in the islands.
All this and more on this episode of Kick TV Hawaii. Stay right where you are. Today we visit with soccer mom Naomi Salazar and her daughter Audrey as she talks about the challenges of having a child in soccer and the rewards that come along with it.
I am lucky that we started when Audrey was young. She has been playing AYSO soccer since kindergarten, and she's been playing HISA soccer for over a year now. She has been with the same club over the past year, Ohana United. Their colors are red and blue. You might have seen them on the field. She's been playing with the U10 girls select team. She likes to play sweeper, but that's a new position for her. She started playing mid about a year ago and played that for a while, and she enjoyed that and she understood it well. So the change to sweeper was new for her, but she really liked it. We are lucky that our soccer field is 10 minutes down the road from us, and we practice HISA there as well as AYSO soccer there. So we spend Tuesdays and Fridays on the weekdays at the soccer field, and we spend Mondays and Wednesdays and what's left over from Fridays for HISA on the soccer field. And then when things work out right, we spend AYSO soccer game on Saturday and a HISA soccer game on Sunday. So we're lucky if we get to stay home on Thursdays. My husband is a dedicated soccer fan, dedicated to watch Audrey grow and learn, and actually coaches her for AYSO soccer. He coached her for U8 soccer for over 2 seasons, and now he's coaching her again for U10 AYSO soccer. He's very supportive. He understands how much time and energy the family puts into it, and he encourages it. Although Audrey has been playing for 5 years soccer, she has not injured herself on the field. Maybe end of Thanksgiving, November time last year, Audrey fell at school and broke 2 bones in her arm, and she got a cast. Before we had realized the extent of the injury, I had mixed emotions about her playing. I wanted her to play to prove that she was strong, that she could play through pain, and I encouraged it. And after realizing she had broken her arm, I did feel guilty for making her play, and even more proud of her. And it really boosted my confidence in her that she could play and go out there fighting like a champion, even though she had a broken arm. I'm even more proud of her now that she was eager to get back in to practice. She had to take 4 weeks off. At the beginning, they said 4 weeks to 6 weeks, and after that, she wanted to go back. She wanted to play, and I was very proud of her to go back into there. The first game back was hard because after being out for 6 weeks, it's hard to see your daughter try to find her place back on the team, back on the field. But I was proud of her when she went back and she played, and she fell, and she took a minute to gather herself, and she got back up and she played, and I was very proud of her. Audrey was starting kindergarten. We had a great coach when she was, it must have been U5. There were 5 girls on her team and a great coach, and I got to see how it was supposed to work. I got to see the coach be positive with the girls, teach them skills. I got to see the girls learn and grow as a team. I saw an excellent support system with the families, with the team mom. They always showed up, they always cheered. And I can base my whole experience on that first season. 5 years later that I can step up, I can be a good supportive family, parent, mom, whatever's needed, assistant coach, whatever's needed, I can step in and help because I saw how it worked. So for those of you hesitant to get involved, I would say get involved. The younger the better, the sooner the better, because you're gonna see positive things happen and you're gonna wanna be a part of it, you're gonna learn, you're gonna grow as a team. So go for it. You will see it, you will experience, and then you can help lead the others there.
Stay with us, and coming up next, we hit the streets again to see how many people know how to speak soccer. And we catch up with Layla Y as she interviews Phil Neto of the Bulls Soccer Club to get his take on soccer today. Stay tuned.
To be hydrated when you play soccer is extremely important, especially when you live in a city like I do in Houston, where it's humid and sometimes game temperatures are up to 100 degrees. And so, it's extremely important to take a lot of fluid before you play, a lot of fluid during every single break that you get while you're playing, and then it's extremely important to rehydrate after you play. The guys lose up to 10 pounds of water weight throughout a 90-minute game out in Houston. So for every pound of water that you lose, you have to pretty much drink 1 bottle of water to replenish that. So it's extremely important because if you're not hydrated, you're definitely gonna not have the energy to last 90 minutes.
My grandfather started working for Metagold back in 1923. My dad retired from Metagold after 30 years of service. I remember Dad telling me and my brother Matt about the importance of integrity and dedication, especially when it came to work. He believed that's what makes a person stronger. I guess you could say that had a big influence on me. I'm Frank Gaspar Jr., and this is Metagold and me. 3 generations and counting.
A drop is the opposite of a pickup. A drop-off pass would be a short pass.
A drop. I don't know. No idea.
A drop. Someone drops the ball.
I know there's a drop in Aussie rules, and when they bounce it down, I think they call that a drop.
You're up in the club, some ladies come over, you're trying to pick them up. What's up, girls, ladies? You really hit the jackpot. And then it doesn't work out, drop.
I might actually think that a drop is actually someone who might slide to the thing to drop the ball on the base or something, or to drop the ball on the person so they can get out.
Is that the point? Or drops the point? When you have like a face-off and the ref drops the puck.
Yeah, through ball could be. This would be a stab or reach. A through ball would be a ball that you just threw away, just
through the goal.
What? Oh, I have no clue there. Through ball, I've never heard that. I really don't. Is that? It could be rugby. It could be lacrosse. I have no clue.
If you're gonna kick the ball and it's got to go through the posts and it goes through ball.
Through ball is when an attacking person's coming at you and you pass through to your own player, going past that attacking player, and that's called a through ball.
A through ball.
A through ball is something that I think that it goes right through to the ring and you're out, strike out, because it's you've done it through the person.
A through ball. Yeah, no idea.
Phil Neto has had a big influence in the soccer community since he arrived on the island 12 years ago. Layla Y sits down and talks to him about how soccer has changed over the years.
Hi, Phil.
Hello.
How are you doing? As a director of coaching with the Honolulu Bulls Soccer Club, how long have you been in Hawaii now?
I thought it was 11, but somebody reminded me it's 12, going on 13 now.
Wow, time flies, huh?
It's going fast.
And when you came in and were hired as the director of coaching, it was a pretty much of a novelty in Hawaii. Nobody was really doing that. It was sort of volunteerism, more of that. How is something like a level of sophistication like that changed, do you think, club soccer in Hawaii?
Well, I think the best judge of that would be the others looking in, because I pretty much was brought in by a business group under the Hawaii Foundation to develop a model club. And they actually went to the Bulls, and if the Bulls had not agreed, I would have probably been with another club. Oh. Who knows? I might have had the fortune, the ability to coach you. But the Bulls agreed, I guess, and the rest is history on that one. But I think it's other people needing to see what happened in soccer in Hawaii, and I think they'd be the best judge of it. But I think anytime you go into a professional nature, the demands change. The demands change on the coaching, on the responsibilities of the players on the field. And I believe the biggest word I would use with some professional angle is there's perspective. Because it's no longer just a hobby, it's no longer just a pastime, it's not even a cause you're fighting for, it's more than that. And if on top of that you have professionals that are driven by passion, and I think I'm one of those, then you get it all, I hope.
And it seemed like that was the start of a lot of changes in Hawaii club soccer, especially with the way the clubs worked, with the way they operated, and with the way, I don't want to say professionalism, but maybe just what they wanted to do. Now, one thing I noticed about the Bulls and the players that you produce is the level of confidence. All of your players come out and they seem to be very confident in what they do. Is that something that you guys actively teach, or is that just, where does that come from?
Well, it's funny, when I look at it, I'm feeling the same way about some other club players from other clubs, but it's because I'm one of the kindest, gentlest coaches you'll ever meet. I'm always so positive with my players. And if anybody's watching right now, they'll think that it's somebody different here. But no, the reality is, I don't know where they get that confidence from. I'm continuously questioning my players, questioning their decisions, because it's a game of decision making by players. There's no timeouts. The game flows all the time. And so I'm a pretty tough challenge. One of the big things I want to make sure that they understand as they go through the organization is that when they come out of it, they have the skills to survive in difficult situations. So I don't think it's cajoling them too much. I need to learn to do more of that. But the reality is you demand a lot out of them. You expect them to do certain things. You raise the bar, and the players will respond. It's funny enough, on seminars with even young children, I often use the illustration where I'll take a bar and I'll put it about 3-4 inches off the ground, and that 7-year-old, 6-year-old will jump over it. And then I'll ask them to jump over it, and I'll raise it about 3 feet. And the interesting thing is that child doesn't look at that as impossible. Many times they just back up. Of course, I haven't had any 6-year-old jump 3 feet in the air and run off stage, but the amazing thing is, by just raising the bar, you make them understand that they have to do a little bit more, that they're going to need a running start now. And I think it's the same thing in life. I think too many times the baby boomers' children, the bar has been lowered so low that they don't even know how to make their run up to the bar.
What do you think Hawaii needs to do to extend its exposure to the mainland? And do you think they need to? Do you think Hawaii players need to?
Well, the best thing that would happen is a great earthquake that would just bring the ocean right near California. I don't need to be connected. 30 minutes out on the channel would be great. But short of that, I think we really need some financial sponsorship. I think that would make the biggest difference. If there were companies in Hawaii that realized that the mechanism is there for some of these players to reach out to opportunities, many of those opportunities fall short because the financial taxation on these parents and these children to go off and get the same experiences as other players do, whether it be on the mainland or in Japan or many of those other countries. It's just not there. In Atlanta, when I worked in a club there, we could get in a car and drive down the road and play in a tournament the following weekend in another neighboring state. But we can't do that here, and I think that would be a big step. I guess the other thing beyond that is I think a readily acceptance of what the club coaches and club programs are trying to do would be a great thing. And what this show's all about, actually bringing a little bit more attention and media attention that not only are we the fastest growing youth sport in this state, but we may be some of the most successful.
Speaking of raising bars and sort of extending yourself, you've branched into television. You do your own sports commentary for soccer. How is that? How is that hat for you as opposed to coaching?
Well, it's tough. I think there certainly are a few more people that have better looks that should be on there, but I used to be hot about 60 years ago, but not anymore. No, I think the reality is I think people want the content, and I've been around the game for a while, and I'm pretty honest with what I say. A lot of my players say I'm a little too nice on TV. They actually don't recognize the person that's there, but it's the same guy. It's just maybe I just don't so readily share it within training environments, but I think that's what it is, and it's going fairly well. But again, the reason I do it is to try to help the game here in the state and try to give some people out there an understanding of the game, because I think many times people miss it or don't enjoy the game because they don't understand it. They don't understand why a player decided to pass it one way or go backwards in his connection rather than going straight to that goal, which so many times we see in other sports.
And especially a lot of people who are outsiders just see soccer as running.
That's
and
correct.
There's so much more to it, so it's...
Actually, there is, and it's a little mental side of the game. Again, I was talking earlier about the fact you have no timeouts. So kids make decisions on every play out there. And they now don't just make a decision individually, but they'll need to make a decision collectively. And every player on the field can impact the decisions they make, from the goalkeeper all the way to the forwards. Defense starts with your forward, and the offense starts with your goalkeeper. And it's a unit that can make some things happen. The best teams in the world, I mean, we've seen them lately. They operate as a unit. So it's things that people need to understand when they watch those games.
Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your insight. Now, as a last favor, do you mind signing the soccer ball,
No
please?
problem. I'll sign right there near Clinton Mathis.
Angelo's been playing 3 years now. He loves the sport. He hopes to go professional one day, but we know how that is with kids. Everybody has a dream. School comes first with him every day. He comes home, he does his homework. After homework, then he goes to practice with the rest of the kids. Hopefully he'll get a scholarship one day and we won't have to pay for his college. Remember, school is very important. We appreciate everybody putting time in with the kids to play soccer every day, but take care of your schoolwork first.
My grandfather started working for Metagold back in 1923. My dad retired from Metagold after 30 years of service. I remember Dad telling me and my brother Matt about the importance of integrity and dedication. especially when it came to work. He believed that's what makes a person stronger. I guess you could say that had a big influence on me. I'm Frank Gaspar Jr., and this is Metagold and me. 3 generations and counting.
Hi kids, it's Vessel from Hands On Physical Therapy. Last week we started by teaching you a word, PRICER, P-R-I-C-E-R. Today we'll start by just expanding more on what the P means. The P is for prevention, and what we would like you to remember, it has 2 segments. What you would do in the pre-season and what you would do pre-game. Pre-season would involve specifically fitness and strength training and drills to prepare you for an injury-free season, hopefully. And the pre-game routine would more be involving what you would do, such as a warm-up to get your muscles prepared for the game, light plyometric exercises like hopping or jumping side to side, and once the muscles are warmed up properly, to do some stretching. The World Soccer Body, FIFA, has a well laid out program called the 11 Plus program that we would like to refer to quite a few times during our different programs in this season.
The next exercise we'll have a look at are the walking lunges. What we'll look at first is how not to do it, and then we'll follow that up with the correct way.
Okay kids, in the next episode we'll be showing a little bit more about warm-up and correct warm-up. So until then, have fun and play fair, and see you next week on Kick TV Hawaii.
Now it's time for Uncle Jack's Corner.
Let me tell you a true story. My friend for decades, Hall of Famer Frank Doyle, would call me up at work at 6:30 in the morning for coffee. He would always have a new idea to advance soccer in Hawaii, some of which were way out. One morning he called me and asked me if I had a couple of hours free. He took me out to Waipahu and at the power incinerator which he was in charge of. He took me through the plant structure and brought us up to a high floor facing Pearl Harbor, overlooking an expanse of rubble. He told me that someday that field of rocks and weeds would be a soccer complex. How right he was. Its 22 fields and stadium have been acclaimed one of the top 5 in the nation by visiting USSF officials. Over the years, there have been many great tournaments: the National American Youth Soccer Annual Games, the United States Youth Soccer Championships, the National United States Adult Soccer Association Veterans Cups, locally, the High School Annual Championships, and the University of Hawaii Women's Soccer Program, as well as local AYSO, HYSA, MISO, WISA. These tourneys have brought in millions of dollars into the community. When the Western region of the United States Youth Soccer Championships, they brought in $11 million into the economy. The next month, American Youth Soccer Organization National Games brought in $9 million to the economy, a total of $20 million in just 1 year. This, in addition to a few million brought in by the National Adult Veterans Cup that played here 2 years in a row. So a tip of the coconut hat to my pal Frank Doyle, the soccer community, and the city. For the good of the game, this is Jack Sullivan. See you next time. Aloha.
My grandfather started working for Metagold back in 1923. My dad retired from Metagold after 30 years of service. I remember Dad telling me and my brother Matt about the importance of integrity and dedication, especially when it came to work. He believed that's what makes a person stronger. I guess you could say that had a big influence on me. I'm Frank Gaspar Jr., and this is Metagold and me. 3 generations and counting.
Well, that's it for this week. Hope you had a good time and learned a few things while you're at it.
Until next time, from all of us at Kick TV Hawaii, aloha.
Layla Y sits down with Phil Neto and talks about his time in Hawaii and how the face of the soccer, and how the face of soccer,
As the jewel of the Pacific, a Hawaii shot.
Mom tells us why she loves the role of being a soccer mom and the reason she continues to do so. Layla Y sits down with... God, I'm getting worse.